Welcome back to the Moisture Farm. It is late tonight, but I absolutely had to get on here and talk about this crazy, crazy reveal. We now have our first look at Jump to Lightspeed, which will be the next fourth set of Star Wars Unlimited. There's some crazy stuff to talk about. First of all, just go right into it. No more starter deck leaders or starter decks in general. They're changing the term to spotlight decks that are going to be precons mixed with cards from multiple sets. 5 special rarity cards, so same as the starter decks. We have this crazy new mechanic. Piloting is going to be absolutely nuts. We have leader units that can pilot, and their epic action, they can either deploy as a leader or deploy as an upgrade on a vehicle that doesn't already have a pilot on it. This is nuts. We were teased that we were going to get space leaders for this upcoming set. People were asking questions at conventions, so it was kind of teased that this might be coming. We didn't exactly know how it was going to look like. I know, at least me, I was a little bit worried about how this would like balance out. But this seems like it's going to be absolutely just a blast to play. Boba Fett making its way back in as a leader, this time in red aspect with villain. So let's take a look let's kind of break down this leader unit as it's deployed. Attached unit is a leader unit. So if you flip Boba as an upgrade, attaches to a vehicle. When deployed as an upgrade, deal up to 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of units. So coming out and pinging stuff, giving it a +4/+4. And the leader ability has sort of a new verbiage. I'm interested to see how this plays out. When you deal non-combat damage, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, deal 1 indirect damage to a player. That player assigns 1 unpreventable damage among their base and units. So the way that this is worded makes me feel like it's going to superimpose itself on units like Lurking Tie or Shattered Intentions that have that upgrade on it. Unpreventable damage, interesting to see. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how the rules interact with this. But definitely an interesting choice of language there to use on the card. And I'm interested to see what that implies. The text down here doesn't do a whole lot to expound on that. Exhaust Boba Fett to deal 1 indirect damage, which means they must choose one of their units or their base and assign 1 unpreventable damage to it. So, yeah, for the case of like Lurking Tie, does that, because it's unpreventable, does it go to it, or does Lurking Tie's damage or Lurking Tie's ability prevent that damage? Probably. I mean, this would assume not. So really interesting there. The pilot going on vehicles, this is going to be absolutely crazy. And keep in mind, there are ground vehicles as well. And villain, like on the Boba flip at 6, you've got the ATST, which is a 6/6 overwhelm. So you can play the ATST, flip Boba, make it a 10/10 overwhelm, and snipe something for 4. Crazy stuff going on. We have Bosk also. Let's take a look at Bosk here, which is he's a 4-drop, 4/4 unit, but has the piloting keyword here. So similar to like how Smuggle worked in set 2, for 2 yellow-black instead of 4, you can play it as an upgrade, a pilot upgrade, exhaust the defender, and deal 1 damage to it. So this is, just completely kind of messes with the game style, the play style of things. Can kind of like make decks a lot more well-rounded and mid-rangey. I really like how this is going to affect just, on text alone. I think this is going to affect gameplay in a really cool, really interesting way. And I cannot wait to get this in our hands. We've got some new events coming. I'll go over the rest of the cards all together once we make it through the article here. We've got Han Solo as our hero spotlight, our pilot leader. Action in leader side, reveal the top card of your deck, then attack with a unit. If the revealed card and that unit have different odd costs, this unit gets +1/+0 for this attack. So kind of tricky, kind of gimmicky. Building decks around having odd number cards. This one, for each friendly unit or upgrade that has an odd cost, ready a resource. So, kind of interesting there. I don't know how strong it's going to be. I mean, getting it +1/+0 for having your deck line up like that doesn't seem like up front, does not seem like super strong. Where I do think this is going to be strong, we will talk about that in a second, is when it is piloting the Millennium Falcon, which is a new. There's going to be a new Millennium Falcon unit again. So, let's see. Yeah, full of odd cost cards that maximizes effectiveness. And we've got also the prestige packs, the collector boosters. I was very worried about this when it leaked a few months ago at a convention. I think one of the best things about this game, at least right now, is that everything comes out of the same pack. Your odds for art styles and showcases, everything comes out of the same pack at the same price. I thought that was one of the things that drew me to this game when I first started getting into it. So this worried me when I saw this picture leaked. But as they've kind of expounded on it down here, making sure to emphasize no unique cards will ever be exclusive to the Carbonite editions. And that makes me feel a lot better. If we're just paying for a premium art pack, we don't have to worry. There's nothing that's going to come in the Carbonites that you can't pack out of a normal pack. Obviously, the odds are probably going to be better in a Carbonite pack. So I could see myself probably just maybe getting one box or one package of these, and just sticking to regular packs otherwise. Because if I don't have to worry about any particular card specifically being in here, then just get one for the flavor, and call it good. I think is going to be cool. And so going into the specific cards here, we also have another leader to talk about. We've got Ventress. Action, deal 1 damage to a friendly unit. If you do, deal 1 damage to an enemy unit in the same arena. Kind of cool. Doesn't seem super strong. And then her upgrade, or her flip side, I should say. So as a ground unit is 4/6 grit. If she's piloting, it gains grit, and on attack you may deal 1 damage to a friendly unit. If you do, deal 1 damage to an enemy unit in the same arena. So they do, with these leaders, they definitely want, they're incentivizing you to play this as a vehicle upgrade for sure, because otherwise they flip as just their stats on the ground. They're only gaining these abilities as pilots. So, flipping this just as a 3/7 with no abilities is certainly not ideal. So they want you playing vehicle decks. There's going to be some really cool combos already for Boba Fett, with triple Dark Raid and some other things. So the one thing that I think is going to be crazy for Han is Chewbacca, and then we've got the Millennium Falcon here. I'm interested to see the rules implications of this as well. But this new 3-cost Millennium Falcon, you may play or deploy 1 additional pilot on this unit. This unit gets +1 for each pilot on it. So whereas normally as pilots, the piloting keyword, you may play this as an upgrade on a friendly vehicle without a pilot. So Normally, it's just one pilot per vehicle. Millennium Falcon allows you to do two, which I think because the keyword piloting is the same as what's printed on the leader card, I don't think it matters the sequence in which you do this in. But hypothetically, if you get this 3-cost Falcon and you play Chewbacca on it, it's going to get +3/+3, and it's going to get unit can't be defeated or returned to hand by enemy card abilities. So it's going to turn into a 7/7, right? It's getting 3/6 +1, 4/3. Yeah, so it's going to turn into a 7/7 with Chewbacca. And then if you flip Han onto it, it's going to get another +3 and then +1 from Falcon. So it's going to turn into an 11/11 in space. If you already have the Falcon on board, this happens in 2 actions. And not only is it an 11/11 in space, it can't be defeated or bounced by enemy card abilities. So no waylay, no evacuate, no cunning bounce. I mean, cunning can exhaust it, but you have to deal damage to get rid of it. You have to find a way to do 11 damage if you want to get rid of that combo. So that looks like it's going to be a lot of fun trying to set that up, because I don't think it's going to be particularly hard. Like, you really just have to have this in play the turn before. Han flips on 5, right? Yeah, Han flips on 5, Chewie costs 5. So, I mean, you're selling out your whole turn to make that combo happen, but it's not particularly hard to do. Like, that's just 2 actions, and you need 2 cards to set that up. And then we've already talked about Bosk. We've got some cool events in here. Attack with a space unit. If you do attack with a ground unit, and that unit, the ground unit, gets +2/0 for this attack. Really cool, like, aggressive card. I think this could potentially blend well into, I could see this getting played in like a Sabine deck, Sabine green. Being able to like attack with an A-wing for 3, and then going in with Sabine or like a Battlefield Marine or something for 4 or 5 to base. A nice 8 damage swing for 1. So you can, with initiative, get 8 damage in for 1, and then have, the rest of your resources to keep going wide. I think that's going to be really cool. Notice integrations. I actually really like this card. Deal damage to a non-leader unit equal to 1 less than its remaining HP. This is a cool, I definitely like, your head immediately goes to red-black, playing this in a Maul deck. You can snipe something all the way down to 1 and then overwhelm, which would be a nice combo. I love the flavor of it. The Boba with, escorting the Carbonite into Cloud City. I love everything about that card. We've got a 3/6 base. Indirect damage you deal to opponents is increased by 1. So obviously that's meant to combo with Boba. Really interesting. Like, this whole indirect damage thing I'm really interested in. And they might have answered questions about this online already, and I just haven't seen it. So I'll be checking things in the morning to see where that is. Another indirect damage ability. When defeated, deal 2 indirect damage to a player. That's going to be a really interesting mechanic. Never tell me the odds. Discard 3 cards from an opponent's deck, 3 cards from your deck. Deal damage to a unit equal to the number of cards with an odd cost discarded this way. I can't imagine that's going to be very strong at all. Discarding 3 from each, and, assumingly your deck is going to have, hitting at least 2, ideally 3 odd cards. And then, so you're hopefully hitting something for at least 3 and discarding 3 from your opponent. I don't know, it just seems kind of meh to me. 3/3 for 3. When played, if you control another space unit, you may exhaust a unit. So it's kind of like a adjacent Cartel Spacer, except it's single yellow, so you can play it in You plate anything, and your other unit, as long as it's space, doesn't have to be yellow. So it kind of seems like the same thing. It's one more power than Cartel Spacer, but just more exhaust power in yellow. Fett's Fire Spray, we're getting another version of the Fire Spray for the new Spotlight Leader. When played and on attack, deal 1 indirect damage to a player. If you control Boba Fett, deal 2 indirect damage instead. So with Boba Fett, if you have Boba piloting that, it turns into a so it gets +4/+4. So it turns into an 8/8 if Boba's piloting, and then sniping something for 4 when it comes in. So this is going to have the biggest implication I think for piloting is that we're going to get some real beefy units in the mid game. Either on leader flip or even before leader flip, like, a Bosk. You can put this on like a punishing one, put the upgrade on a punishing one, and you can even do it on the same turn, like on 5, or even the phase after you play a punishing one for 2, and it becomes a 5/6 in space that exhausts defenders and deals 1 damage if you're attacking a unit. So we're gonna get some like real beefy units that are going to be hard to take care of. Now, there is a flip side to this, and let's go ahead and get into that. Piloting is an upgrade. So keep in mind, I have all these pulled up. We have lots of very cheap ways to deal with upgrades. And this is my biggest concern when we're talking about this mechanic, we're talking about your leader here. So in the Premier format, like this is what you're building your deck around. And if you flip this on, like if I'm playing against the Han and he flips onto the Falcon, if I can pay 1 to defeat your leader, that seems extremely weak. Deploy this leader as an upgrade on a friendly vehicle unit. Like, if you flip your leader and I can just pay 1 to defeat it, that seems really bad. Or I can pay 3 to drop a 3/2 unit and defeat your leader, and then, play aggression. A double red deck going against someone that's trying to build, Han and Chewie on the Falcon. I can just play a 4-cost event and snipe both of those right out of the way and deal 4 damage to a unit. So, just completely, aggression just completely wipes that combo off the board. So there's some caution here, 2-cost power failure, defeat any number of upgrades on a unit. That itself just wipes that. Poe Dameron, ECL Poe Dameron still just annihilates any type of upgrade pilot combo. So I'm very weary of this looking at these leaders, because the mechanic looks like a lot of fun, but it looks extremely vulnerable. And if this is what our whole set is going to be built around, it seems very, very counterable. And, I'm really not sure what to think about any of that. But we still have some cool cards. We still have some really cool flavor on these cards. You can see we've confirmed we have space tokens now, TIE tokens, X-Wing tokens, and we have experience and shield coming back into the set. So I would imagine our pre-release kits and potentially our spotlight decks are going to have all of these tokens fit in somewhere. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this, and especially the vulnerability of this play style seems, I don't know. The idea of making an 11/11 Falcon and the flavor of having the Han and Chewie combo seems awesome. But if we have the answers this easily, I'm concerned. I'm concerned, to say the least. Let me know what you guys think about the set, about piloting, and I can't wait to get this. It feels like Twilight just happened, but now that they're giving this to us, I'm already so stoked, and I can't wait to get it in our hands. Got some gameplay, got some more decks coming at the end of the week. I just wanted to jump on and touch this a little bit, but yeah, we'll get into some more deck tech, and we'll see you guys on the next one.